Canelo will fight Jaime Munguia on May 4th. To be honest with you guys, I'm a bit disappointed that the fight with Benavidez didn't get announced, but I don't know what Canelo's motivation is. I talk about my thoughts and feelings about this fight, and I also talk about more boxing as well as UFC in this episode, so let's get right into it. Hey guys, welcome to the False Line Podcast here with your host, Alvaro. This is episode 201. 201, or whatever you may call it, but our first episode after 200, which is crazy milestone. So I've been posting just kind of one podcast a week, and that's probably how it's going to stay until I guess a lot more is happening. And also, too, guys, I'm recording a Spanish episode now every week, so I'm kind of doing two, and it kind of just helps just focusing one episode per week on English and Spanish, and just putting out the clips, things like that. So that's kind of how the content is. I'm back at posting 4 times a week, really Monday through Fridays, 4 times a week. The weekends, I post like 2 times on Saturday, maybe once on Sunday night usually is what I do. So that's kind of the schedule for the content and for the YouTube clips page for the False Nine. I'm posting there daily, just depending on how many topics I hit on the podcast is how many posts or videos will go up, between 4 to 6, right? So that'll be daily content on there as well. So yeah, that's kind of our schedule, and I'm kind of giving a hard push for the small content, 4 clips a day on every platform. So it's kind of what we're doing, and we've been doing all right. So the YouTube's been kind of a little bit low, but what I have noticed is that if I feel like the watch time is better. So I want to say thank you guys for that. And, you know, we're doing our best. We're trying to get better and put some really good content out there. But anyways, that's that about the False Nine. Today's episode is going to be, I'm going to talk about like a few things, to be honest with you. I'm going to talk about Canelo. I'm going to talk about Jake Paul, Ryan Garcia, Colby Covington. Talk about Sugar Sean O'Malley a little bit. Talk about Islam Makhachev a little bit as well. So about boxing, UFC, the first half of the episodes, we're going to start right with boxing, and then we'll shift over to UFC. So the first thing I want to talk about is Canelo fighting his next fight, you know, in May, Cinco de Mayo weekend, or that week or on that day. I'm not too sure. I think, it's right there though. But, you know, he always fights for Cinco de Mayo and Mexico Independence Day. So he'll be fighting Munguia. I don't know his first name, but Munguia is the guy he's fighting. A lot of people were upset about the announcement because, you know, a lot of people want the David Benavidez fight. And the guy he's fighting, I haven't seen him fight, but he's a pretty good fighter. He's Mexican as well. So overall, you know, for me, I'm like, okay, he's fighting a good guy with a really good record. You could say a little bit, you know, it's probably better than Benavidez' record. If you look at it, and some people make that argument, and I can kind of see that, you know. And it's just, you know, for me, I was like, you know, like, I don't know, with the year of MMA and boxing and how they've been delivering fights and things like that, I'm just like, we've been having so many bangers, you know, just back-to-back bangers, that I wanted a banger. You know, I wanted Canelo and David Benavidez. Like, I wanted that banger. And the fact that we didn't get it, I think it's just that disappointment that we could have got that banger and we didn't. Instead, we got a really good fight, like a really, really, really good fight. And it's in a hard opponent, but just not the opponent that everybody wants. And, you know, it makes sense that a lot of people are upset. It makes sense that people are saying Canelo's ducking, but I don't think Canelo's ducking. I just think he's making decisions that are best for his career. Maybe he's not ready to fight Benavidez yet. I find it very hard for Canelo not to fight David Benavidez. But if he's really close toward the end or the end of his career, I can definitely see Canelo not taking that hard fight, because he doesn't want to get knocked out literally when he has maybe less than 5 fights away, right? So who knows what his plan is. Maybe he wants to get another fight in before Benavidez. Who knows? Maybe he's expecting Benavidez to lose to forget about Benavidez. So not really too sure on the decision, but to me, it doesn't take anything away from Canelo. But I will say, you know, when we talk about, like, is he ducking Benavidez, it just depends what the real motive is behind taking the Munguia fight. Like, did you take it because like I said, you want to tune up, another tune up before you fight Benavidez, or do you just want to get another win and just keep winning against these pretty solid opponents and then just walk off to the sunset? And the biggest question that I have, like, is this fight going to happen? Like, is it going to happen this year, next year, the year after? Like, are we ever going to see Benavidez versus Canelo? Like, is that even a possibility? I don't want to see, like, or I don't want to hear Canelo say, like, yeah, maybe in the future if things work out, like, it's either like, yeah, it's going to happen at one point, or it's not. And that's what I would like to know, because if it's going to happen at one point, I don't really care what Canelo fight, who he fights, and what he does. Because if it's going to happen at one point, like, that's good. We'll get the fight eventually. But I wish it was pretty clear on why we haven't got the fight and if we're going to get it. And for Canelo's career, like, it doesn't affect him negatively if he takes or he doesn't take the fight. So I can understand why he could duck Benavidez. He doesn't have to fight Benavidez. Canelo doesn't have to prove to anyone anything. He's already arguably one of the best fighters ever. But I think Canelo's getting to the point where how high on the GOAT list do you want, like, where do you want to be on the GOAT list? Now these are where, like, the fights that he has now, that's what it'll basically affect, because he's already in the conversation of on the GOAT list, right? With the Mayweathers, with the Cesar Chavez, with the Mike Tyson. Like, he's what's his name, Muhammad Ali. Like, he's up on that list, but now I think he has to basically find his like, where does he want to fall on that list? Does he want to fall, like, last in line on that list, like barely making the list, in the middle of the list, and on the top of the list? Like, this guy was him. He fought everybody and just fucked them up. And I think that's the expectation we have for Canelo, that, like, you got to fight the best on constantly. But, maybe Canelo's like, I'm already at the top. I ain't trying to take no more damage. I'm just trying to be chilling, living a good ass life. Like I said, I don't know what Canelo's motive is, but right now the fights that he takes, it'll just reflect how high he falls on a GOAT list, on someone's GOAT list. And also too, like, I just don't know what Canelo wants to do with his career, or what his motivations are, like, at this point. And I wish we knew, but it's his personal life, and he does what he wants. Like I said, I don't think he's ducking Benavidez. I think we get that fight eventually, but and if we don't, it'll suck, because Benavidez is probably gonna keep winning, doing his thing. For me, I'm like, Canelo, it's not a hard fight. Like, I could see why you can get caught and be put out, but Canelo's a lot better than Benavidez. He'll probably beat Benavidez. The weight cut will be an issue for Benavidez. There'll be a lot of advantages for Canelo. And Benavidez just has to hope that Canelo opens up and he can put him out, which could happen. But, I don't see that happening. So I don't know why Canelo just takes the fight and makes it happen. But like I said, maybe he doesn't feel 100% ready to take a fight like that. We all know with the Triple G fight, it took him. We had to ask for that fight for almost 2 years, and then we finally got it. So that's something that could happen as well. So, like I said, I don't think it takes anything away from Canelo. His stock doesn't go down, but it also doesn't go up, in my opinion. But it'll be a good fight, and we'll see how Canelo looks. This will be a lot harder fight than probably his last, three opponents. So we'll just see. We'll just see how it goes. It's kind of pretty much all I got to say about Canelo. He's, like I said, he's still one of my favorite boxer. I think he's still one of the best. But I am disappointed. Like, fuck, why didn't you take the fight with Benavidez? It's not a hard fight. It's a hard fight, but it's not. It ain't Triple G hard. It ain't Mayweather hard. Like, it's just a tough fight. So yeah. And for Benavidez, it kind of sucks. He's young. He's kind of been having impressive wins. And I think he's gotten in a position to call out Canelo and to possibly make that fight happen. But, he's just going to have to continue and focus on his legacy. And, he said it himself. He doesn't need Canelo to add anything to his career. And it's true. You don't need another fighter. You just go on and keep beating ass and fuck people up. And you'll be up there for sure, just like Canelo was or is. So I think we get the fight eventually. But we'll just have to wait and see, if it happens. But yeah, just a bit disappointed. Not gonna lie. So let's transfer. Let's move over to Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. That got announced, I think, a week ago or a week and a half ago. He just got done beating some guy that was not really a professional. I mean, he was a professional, but I think he had like a part-time job doing something else. So he wasn't like up there for sure, but Jake Paul finished him, and then he's pretty much ranked in the weight class that he fights in, which I forgot what it is. But then, after like a week after that, the fight gets announced with him and Mike Tyson, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson in Dallas. I believe it'll be at AT&T. I don't think it'll be at the Airline Center, but I'm pretty sure it'll be AT&T, which is gonna be crazy because that place can hold, I think, anywhere from 70 to 75,000 people. And that can get real crazy. It gets loud. It's a huge place, and it'll be an awesome atmosphere if it's there, which I think it is. And a lot of people want to go see Mike Tyson. There's a lot of people that I spoke to that are a little bit older than me, and they're like, bro, in my era or my time, I wish that we would have got to see Mike Tyson. And now, X amount of years later, he's back in the ring. He's right here in Dallas, Texas. So a lot of people are going to go watch him and fight. And I want to talk about Jake Paul for a moment before we talk about, the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. But, Jake Paul has put himself, not put himself, but he has kept showing us, that he's taking boxing serious. Like, he wants to be a boxer, and that's what he wants to pursue. Like, he just wants to go and be a boxer. And I think that's pretty cool because, the internet has gave him the hardest time for years. And some of it he deserves it, and some of it he doesn't. But he's been getting just hate, constantly hate. He gets hate like crazy. And to go out and keep focused on his training, keep fighting, keep winning. I mean, he lost to Tommy, but he's fought Anderson Silva, he's beat Tommy Fury. I mean, he's fought Tommy Fury. He's fought Tyron Woodley twice, Ben Askren, Nate Robinson, I think, Anderson Silva. And then the last guy, I don't know the last guy's name, and I don't think the guy before that either. But, he's been winning, and he's been trying to work on himself and work on his resume, get better experience in there, and he keeps getting better. And now this fight against Mike Tyson, it's going to be his hardest fight yet, and I'll get to that in a second. But I'm happy, and it's cool to see someone like Jake Paul, just ignore all the hate and was like, you know what, I want to box. I'm going to keep boxing. I'm going to keep kicking ass. And he's doing it in a smart way. Like, he's not going in there just fighting one of the best guys in boxing. Like, he's fighting, these not as hard opponents, also not easy, but he wants to go in there and see how good he looks against this guy. How good do I look against this guy? And slowly work his way up and just kind of build his confidence in the ring and kind of get better in a fight scenario. And I mean, he's getting to a point where we can call Jake Paul a professional boxer. Like, that's what he is. And you can't take that away from him at all. Like, he's a professional boxer, and he's pretty good. And I think it's funny, and I think it's pretty cool that he was able to do that and achieve that, because everybody thought it was like one fight and that's it. I had 2 fights against Nate, that's it. Tyron Woodley, that's it. Ben Askren, that's it. But then he starts fighting a little bit much better people, and people are like, oh shit, this guy's pretty good. And there's always making excuses. Fights are rigged, easy opponents, things like that. But, when you're so early in your boxing career, you're going to be fighting cans. That's how it is. And everybody knows that knows boxing. Like, early on, you're fighting cans, bro. So I think he's doing pretty good, and he's making a lot of money doing it. I mean, people are going to keep hating, but Jake Paul, we need to give Jake Paul his flowers, bro. That's for sure. So, well, I was going to say something else about Jake Paul. I forgot. But anyways, he's fighting Mike Tyson. I think it's his hardest fight. No question. Besides, his hardest fight before then was Tommy Fury. And, a lot of people might say Mike Tyson is old. People saw him walking with the cane not too long ago. A lot of things, right? And Mike Tyson is old. He's like 50-something. He's close to being 60, if I'm not mistaken. He hasn't fought since maybe 20, 30 years, something along those lines. I know he had an exhibition against Roy Jones Jr., if I'm not mistaken, 2021, something like that. And before that, it was years since he's fought. So It's been a long time, and for Mike Tyson, he's not fighting someone that's like hard or very, very difficult, but it'll be like a good fight because, Mike Tyson was at the highest level and, obviously like he just knows things in the boxing ring. Like he's just going to know. And it looks like he still has that power and he has somewhat of speed. Like, have you seen his videos? Like, I know they're kind of edited, but he looks decent. And, Mike Tyson is someone who's mentally he's mentally strong, like, and aggressive. Like, when he's in that fighting, like, mental state, he's a scary guy. And we make that video. He's like, "You still want to fuck with me?" And towards Jake Paul, and I was like, that's crazy, bro. Like, they're gonna be talking shit to each other probably in press conference. I can hear Mike Tyson just calling him like white boy and that he's trash, like, and just going in on Jake Paul because it's part of the fight game, and I'm pretty sure Mike Tyson's gonna want to fuck with Jake Paul, and he's gonna want to beat his ass. Like, there's just no doubt. Like, this is the first time that Mike Tyson gets to come back, and they're like, "Hey, bro, you can go all in, you can go all out." Go all out. Everything you got. Get that fire back. You get a taste of that fire that he used to feel. And that he talks about that it would just like turn him on, like at one point, like just thinking about fighting and beating someone's ass. And that's what Mike Tyson is. And that's why I think this fight's gonna be very, very hard for Jake Paul. And it's gonna be good because it'll be his hardest test. Like I said, and Mike Tyson might not be, the most durable, might not be the fastest compared to other guys that he could fight now, younger in their primes, things like that, right? So, it'll be a step up. A lot of people might give a shit, but this is going to be one of his toughest tests for Jake Paul. So it'll be exciting to see. Still debating if we'll go. I think we will. I don't know yet, though, but I would like to go just to check it out. But the fact that it's going to be AT&T, it's going to be a lot of people, and, things get very, very, very hectic when that stuff happens. So, yeah, Jake Paul, man. Jake Paul's making a name for himself in the boxing world, and it's pretty cool to see. So, last thing about Jake Paul. Jake Paul, don't compare Jake Paul to KSI, guys. And this is just towards the KSI fans, meat riders, whatever. But KSI is not at Jake's level. Jake Paul has fought, I think this is his third fight with the Mike Tyson. He's fought twice. He's won twice. Since what's his name? Since KSI's fucking sore loser loss against Tommy Fury. That was his last fight, and that was a few months ago. Almost reaching a year. No, that was a few months ago. I'm not even gonna say cap. But Jake Paul has fought twice since then, and he's going on his third fight. So don't compare KSI to Jake Paul. Jake Paul will kill KSI in the ring. Just kill him. And I think it's funny that a lot of people think that KSI has a chance with Jake Paul. I'm like, bro, Jake Paul constantly trains and is constantly fighting. Like, I bet Jake Paul's fighting IQ is a lot better than KSI. And there's a lot of things that Jake Paul probably does better than KSI. So I don't want to hear shit about KSI's boxing or about fighting Jake Paul, because at this point, that fight probably doesn't need to happen because Jake Paul would just, obliterate KSI. So, yeah. All right, let's last boxing topic. We'll talk about Ryan Garcia. So I don't think this Devin Haney fight and Ryan Garcia fight's gonna happen anymore. I haven't seen Devin Haney really tweet anything out or make any videos, or I haven't seen any interviews. But maybe just me not looking at social media. I don't know. But I haven't seen Devin Haney really be promoting this fight anymore, and that gives me worries that I'm like, bro, this fight's probably not gonna happen anymore. Because Devin Haney doesn't seem to care to promote it. Obviously, we know it, but everyone knows. Everyone right now is just worried about Ryan Garcia's mental health. That's all everyone's talking about. It's just his mental health, and that we're probably not going to have this fight no more. And I don't think we are. He had some mental breakdown or midlife crisis stuff going on, talking about the Bohemian Grove, the elites. He very conspiracy talk. And I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong, because it could be very, very true, and everything he talks about could be true. But I just don't think, you're supposed to go on social media and make these crazy videos and these crazy posts and just kind of going crazy. And I say that respectfully, and if Ryan Garcia is going through some shit, I just don't think posting it on Twitter and posting things like that is the way to do it. And it's kind of a weird thing to talk about as well, you know. If I knew about some shit like that, like I wouldn't go around posting it, you know. And I think a lot of people, you know, unless you're like some reporter or some journalist, I can see why you would want to talk about these things. But dude, you're a professional boxer. You know, you got to focus on boxing. You got one of your biggest fights in your career on 420 on April 20th against Devin Haney, who's trying, you know, to prove to the world that he's one of the best boxers ever. And you're getting in the ring with that guy, but you're talking about fucking conspiracies, you know, whether it's true or not, I understand, but bro, you got to lock in. Like, to me, it just shows where his mind's at, where his head's at, and what's his, like, what matters to him at the moment. You know, he could be boxing, he could be training, but you know, if you're not thinking about fucking up Devin Haney majority of the time of your day, I feel like as a professional boxer, like you're just not in the right headspace to be fighting Devin Haney. And if you got time to tweet and to be on these Twitter spaces and to talk about this and to talk about that, you know, Bohemian Grove, the Elites, conspiracy, they made me watch this, you know, all those things. If you got time for that, I just feel like you're not on the right headspace to be fighting Devin Haney. That's just me though. And that's what makes me think that the fight's not going to happen. I think something like Ryan Garcia has, you know, some illness or some injury, or he got COVID. Like, it'll be something like that, some sickness that'll call the fight to be pulled, and it'll either get canceled or moved back. And it'll suck because it'll be kind of a waste of hype. It'll be a waste of time for Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, and both teams as well, promotions, things like that. It'll just be a waste of time, and it'll suck because it's just like, bro, you know, you're supposed to be promoting this fight. You're supposed to lock in for this fight, and now we're probably not going to get it. And I think there's a lot of people that think we're not going to see it, and I think Devin Haney knows that he's not going to have this fight ready, or he's not going to be. There's just going to be no fight in April. So I don't know what's going on with Ryan, but I think he needs to have good people around him. He has to have a good support system to, you know, help him out, get him in the right headspace. And you know, if he's under any influence, like they gotta figure that shit out too. You know, get that situated. So yeah, that's that, man. But I want Ryan Garcia to do good. He's very talented, and I think he has a lot of potential to really be big. So yeah. All right, let's talk about Colby Covington real quick. Colby Covington, he made a call out video for Ian Gary. Just went in on Ian Gary and tore his ass up, and it was entertaining. It was prime Colby shit talking at his finest, and it's awesome because, you know, Ian Gary clearly called out Colby Covington. And I'm happy he called him out because I feel like if Colby would have won that fight, Ian Gary's not calling out Colby. But he probably saw how terrible Colby looked in there, and he called out Colby Covington. So kudos to Ian Gary for calling out a tough opponent like that. You know, people can say whatever about Colby Covington. I'm not really a fan of the guy, but he's a pretty solid UFC fighter, and clearly he got shut down. He said he had some injury. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think a fight between him and Ian Gary is going to be very, very entertaining just because of the styles, the height differences, the reach difference is probably a big difference. But the way Ian Gary fought his fight against Geoff Neal, you know, just running around, running away in the octagon, and the pressure that Colby's going to bring to you and trying to close that distance, it's just going to be interesting. And I'm excited to see it. But I think it's so funny how Colby Covington finds a way to make himself relevant. The dude was, you know, crickets this whole time. And then he posted that video and it went fucking viral and everybody loved it. Everybody watched it and it just, I mean, it went viral. And it was fucking good. It was funny and it was good shit talking. So kudos to Colby, you know, for making himself relevant. And he's going to make a lot of money when he fights Ian Gary. And if he manages to beat Ian Gary, I mean, the UFC better buckle up because he's going to be crazy. And for the fans, I'm here for it, man. I'm here to watch that shit. And I love when, you got a guy just going crazy, talking crazy. And I mean, Colby Covington is pretty solid, man. He's a solid opponent. So it'll be a good fight for both guys. Ian Gary trying to make a name for himself in the division and work his way up towards ranks. Colby Covington trying to get a rhythm back. He talks about how he's going to be champion eventually again, or not again because I think he's just interim, but how he's going to be undisputed champion. And we'll see if he can do it. But yeah, it's cool that Colby Covington was able to find himself back to some form of relevancy. All right, so then we'll talk about Sugar Sean O'Malley real quick. He made a post or a tweet a tweet, I guess you can say. I don't even know if you call it an X. But he made a tweet talking about, I will fight Merab. 2025 will be legendary. I think a lot of people misinterpreted that tweet. And I mean, he cleared it up eventually that he's going to fight Merab next this year. And then he'll probably fight Aaliyah in 2025. And that's how I interpreted the tweet. I was like, okay, he's going to fight Merab next. And then, once he beats Merab, 2025, fighting Aaliyah, that's legendary. Fighting Merab in 2025 is not legendary. And I thought it was pretty funny how people were overreacting. Like, how are you going to, why would you fight till 2025? I was like, there's nothing legendary if he fights Merab in 2025 and doesn't fight now. Like, he doesn't fight now, till 2025. I was like, that's not legendary. I was like, guys, just connect the dots here. If he beats Merab and then Aaliyah beats Volkanovski and then they fight in 2025, that's legendary shit. Not for him waiting and just holding the title, holding the division, and then fighting Merab in 2025. That's not fucking legendary. So I thought it was crazy how people were overreacted that way, and he had to clear it up and was like, guys, I'm going to fight Merab. Like, it makes sense. So I think that's pretty much said and done. They're just going to work out the contract, the location, all those things to make that fight happen with Sugar Sean O'Malley and Merab. And it'll be exciting. It'll be fun. And hopefully we can see it pretty soon, like sometime in the summer. And yeah, it's awesome that we get to see that fight. And it's cool that Sugar Sean acknowledges that he should fight Merab, and for Merab finally getting his title shot. Like, it's very good for Merab. So I don't think I have nothing else to say about Sugar Sean O'Malley. So let's talk about the last thing here. Islam. I want to talk about Islam Makhachev. So Islam Makhachev made some comments about Aaliyah, how he said, why is this guy calling me out, things like that, which I thought it was pretty cheap of Islam to do, because Islam talks about how he wanted to move up and fight Leon Edwards, and apparently that fight was offered to him and he rejected it, which I thought was pretty crazy. I understand, you guys, the Islam fans and Islam himself, he has Ramadan, but I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I get it. It's your religion, it's your thing. And you do have to prioritize to you what's important. And, to me, if you pick or I don't know the Muslims. I mean, I would say Muslim culture, and I don't know their religion, things like that. But, if the Leon fight was offered to you, you were asking for it. They gave it to you for UFC 300 and you rejected it. Like, I'm just like, I feel weird about that, because he wanted that fight and they actually gave it to him, which is pretty crazy. And he said no because of Ramadan, which is understanding as well. But he also did say no to a fight that he did ask for. And then to kind of give those shots towards Aaliyah and how he's like, why would Aaliyah want to fight me? He just moved up. He just became champion. And I was like, well, you kind of haven't even fought somebody in your own weight class yet. So I don't know. Those are the comments and the things that Islam says that I'm just like, bro, like, what are you saying, bro? Like, you got to focus on your division and beat those guys. And it seems like now he's taken that approach, because he even said something about Dustin, and he also replied to Dustin's tweet. And I think we're gonna get the Islam Makhachev and Dustin Poirier fight in June. Like, I don't see why we wouldn't get that fight. And I think that's what's going to happen, because Islam kind of made it seem like, yeah, I'll accept that fight, or I'll take that fight. And Dustin Poirier winning the way he did against the guy that he beat, I mean, it just makes sense. And like I told you guys, Dustin Poirier just finds himself in a really good spot, at the right place at the right time. All the other guys in the division, that are really good contenders for Islam are going to be busy, and Dustin Poirier is not going to be busy. So I definitely see we'll get that fight, guys. We're going to get the Islam and Dustin Poirier fight. I just know it. And people can say what they want, but I just want to see Islam Makhachev defend his title against a 155er. That's all I want. And whether it's Dustin, Arman Sarukian, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, I just want to see him beat these guys. And he said that, he says like there's some few guys I got to fight in the division, which is, I'm happy he's saying it because, a few months ago he was saying how there's nobody in the division good enough and that he was going to beat everybody either way. And that's why he wants to move up to basically challenge himself because no one else is challenging in his own division, which I thought was pretty much bullshit. But, that's my opinion. But yeah, so pretty interesting comments from Islam Makhachev. I give Islam Makhachev probably the hardest time. He makes these comments, but, he's kind of doing the same stuff. He makes the comments about Aaliyah. Islam Makhachev wins the title, fights a guy at 145. Then he talks about moving up to fight Leon and then say, well, where are you going to fight? When are you going to fight somebody in your own division and defend your title for the first time against somebody in your own division? And you're giving shit to Aaliyah when you kind of did the same thing. So, mixed emotions there for Islam. But I just hope to see him fight in June against Dustin Poirier. And that's it. But, guys, that's pretty much the end of the episode. I know it's kind of all over the place. I know we had UFC Fight Night last night, but, honestly, guys, I just didn't watch. But next week's content will be a little bit tricky. We got to see what we can talk about and what we got going on. But, guys, if you guys watched, I appreciate it. Leave a like, share, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Have a good week.